Well guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm not only doing a food storage meal completely from food storage, I'm doing a food storage challenge. And I mentioned it in my vlog, but just in case some of you missed it and you don't watch the vlogs, you then, my coffee is just about done, yay. You will then know that this is what's going on. So you should be seeing some videos from a few of us out there on YouTube. Okay, so I just recently have canned chuck roast, canned carrots that I put the onion soup mix in, and potatoes that I put the onion soup mix. I also put a teaspoon of it in here, and then I've got roasted garlic and chicken stock in here with the beef, but the beef makes its own broth as well. So we're gonna have stew. How easy is this? And I was going to add some fresh vegetables to it for green, and then I thought, no, I'm gonna do it completely out of food storage. So I've got dehydrated mushrooms that I dehydrated. Oh my gosh, these are probably from a year or two ago. And same with these green onions. This actually was from onions that I grew from the ends off of my onions that I got from the store. Then I let them grow, then I planted them outside. When they got tall enough, I cut them down. I regrew those 3 times, and I dehydrated every bit of it. So we're gonna put some, even though it's got onions in here, this gives it a little different flavor, and I love mushrooms in stew. So instead of adding fresh, we're gonna add that. You could add canned, but I'm gonna use some of that. And then I'm going to make a buttermilk flaxseed biscuits to go with our stew. Now, I am going to use fresh buttermilk, although I could use dehydrated buttermilk powder, but I have the fresh, so I'm going to use that. That's the only thing that's going to come fresh. So your flour, your Crisco, your baking soda, baking powder, salt, everything comes right out of my extended pantry. So guys, I'm challenging for this. I'm challenging 2 of my very favorite YouTubers, Heather from the KneadyHomesteader and Lisa from Suttons Daze, to get creative, pull from your home canned pantry, or even maybe just your pantry itself, and make a pantry meal. Some people don't can, so those of you that don't, if somebody tags you, don't be afraid to do it right out of your pantry and see what you can create as far as a meal goes, and making things, you know, that are healthy and wholesome. So I hope this is fun for you guys, and I can't wait to see the ideas, because I'm always looking for more ideas. So let's get started. I'm gonna bring you in close so you get a close-up shot. So I've got my 3-quart saucepan here I'm gonna use, and I was going to rinse my potatoes, but then as I looked at them, I thought, you know, I'm not going to, so that's why I put them back in the jar. They smell fantastic. Smells like that onion soup mix. So get your potatoes out if you've got these, hopefully. And got your potatoes and all that onion soup mix. Super excited for this. And then we're gonna open our carrots. Oh, nice seal. And again, that smells fantastic, but I am gonna drain off the liquid because I don't want just carrot juice. It still has the flavor of the onion soup mix in there and the onion bits. And then for the Tattler lid, you need a Tattler lid opener so you don't damage your lid or your seal. And there's some fat in here, but that chuck roast, if you had a stew, it would have fat in it. And so we need to just get that out of the jar. There we go. See how nice that comes out? Trust me, if that was raw packed, that would not come out so nice. And these pieces are gonna be just, I'll push one against the side of the pan here. They fall apart tender. Delicious. Okay. Now I need some stock in here. So I'm gonna open up some bone broth Oops. Nice seal, and add some bone broth, and we can thicken this. I want it nice and hearty though. Oh yeah, okay. Now, that's all we have to do for this, and that's about, it actually ends up to be about a quart and a half of stew that's going on the stove. And I want to go ahead though and add some dehydrated vegetables, and ooh, that seals good. And you're gonna have to allow for liquid, so I might add a little bit more liquid. Look at these beautiful green onions, and they will rehydrate. Now add a little bit different onion flavor to the blend. And that, we'll go ahead and shut that up, and we can get the food saver and I think this one should be open, yeah. Re-vacuum that. And that's been vacuum sealed like that for a couple, 3 or 4 years, I think. And it's just exactly how it was when I put it in there. And you can hear how crispy those onions are. Now, if I need to add more liquid when this starts to cook, which I think I will, because if you have, let's say, a quarter of a cup of mushrooms, you're gonna need a half a cup of liquid, if, you know, to rehydrate. Almost a half a cup. They're about 80% water. So I'm gonna put this on the stove. I might add a little bit of garlic to it because there's no garlic in this. We're gonna get this started, and then we're gonna make our biscuits. So here's my stew. The mushrooms are almost done rehydrating. You definitely need at least 20 minutes for the vegetables that are dehydrated to rehydrate. Sometimes 30 minutes, but it's still fast food. While I made the biscuits, and I did that fast forward for you, but if you look down in the about section below, I'll have the complete recipe. It's super easy. You couldn't get any easier, actually, and it's a flaxseed buttermilk biscuit recipe. So they are in the oven, and while they're finishing and they're getting nice and fat and fluffy and flaky, this can finish up. I'm going to thicken this with a little cornstarch slurry, I do believe, because I want it a little thicker. That's a little watery for me. So I'll make up my slurry and we'll be ready to serve it up. Okay guys, so I've got the stew here is all done. I'm going to take the lid off, and I thickened it with a tablespoon of cornstarch. You can use any kind of starch you like, and some water. Just made a slurry. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I don't know if you can see from there. And our biscuits, I've already buttered one, but I'm going to butter this one for Michael. And this is always Michael's plate. So we're going to take this beautiful biscuit, and these are flaky, stacked up. Oh my gosh, look at this. How pretty is that with that flaxseed in there? Yummy. You gotta have a biscuit when you have stew, right? And look at, you can see the layers. Flaky, golden brown on the bottom. They don't get super brown on top, but that's okay. But you can see the layers in there. It's pretty cool. All of them look really good. So we're gonna go ahead and dish up our stew. And oh, the potatoes. This is so hearty. And it really was only on there about a half hour. We did have company, so that probably prolonged this, but not by far. Look at all this veg and meat, and let's go ahead and clean up this plate. I got a little green onion there. Okay. You guys know I always take a bite off of his plate. I want a little extra cracked black pepper because it's really good for you. And I'll get myself a spoon and get a little bite. I want a bite of meat. Oh, there's meat, carrots, mushrooms, and oh, I don't want a whole potato. Let's do it. Okay. Mushroom, carrot. A little bit more meat. There we go. Ooh, holy cow. It's getting to be a big bite. I'll grab that mushroom. There we go. The perfect bite, right? Blow on it. It smells amazing. Oh my gosh. Unreal. This is so delicious, and it all came out of my home canned pantry and my regular pantry. Absolutely wonderful. So I hope you try this. I hope it challenges you to figure out a new way. And somebody said, well, I would just put all this in a jar and can it up. And I can tell you, I've done it in the past. It does not come out the same at all. I do not like the flavor. This, I can everything individual, and then I'm not pigeonholed into a stew that I don't really care for. This is delicious. All right, guys. I can't wait to see you next time. So guys, winding down on the video here, we are enjoying this stew. It's delicious. And there's enough left in this pot for another bowl or two of soup or stew, and it couldn't be any heartier. It's absolutely fantastic. I love the potatoes in this. They do not have that off flavor I'm used to with canned potatoes. The onion soup mix is the key. I'll be canning a lot more potatoes here coming up real soon because potatoes keep going up in price. I don't know why. The beef is fall apart tender. This could have been done faster had I not put the dehydrated mushrooms in there. The onions rehydrate real fast. The mushrooms take about 20 to 25 minutes, and they still have a little bit of a different texture to them, but I really enjoy that. The biscuits are beautiful. This one's already buttered, and it was a flat, wonky one. So, so light and fluffy. Not heavy at all. I hope you enjoy this recipe too. So I'm challenging you to look in your pantry and say, what could I create without going to the store with what I have? And I did use fresh buttermilk. I could have used powdered, but I don't want to waste what's in my refrigerator either. So think outside the box and maybe create a meal for us that we can all share and recreate. And anybody who shares one with me, I'm going to try to recreate it myself. All right, guys, go down in the about section below. Check the links I've left for you. Join me on Facebook. My mailing address is down there if you ever need to send me a card or a note, ask me questions. And as always, I can't wait to see you next time. Hit that subscribe button and the bell button for the notifications.